Hello everyone, it is JJ. It is swelteringly hot here in British Columbia right now. There are enormous forest fires ravaging the province at the moment, which has led to this enormous sort of blanket of smoke encapsulating all of the lower mainland where I live, which has really sort of trapped the heat in this very monstrous, humid way that we are not used to out here. So I have the fan running and my hair is probably starting to flop down a little bit, but I am going to power through because today we have a very cool subject for a video that I think you will really enjoy. What I'm going to show you today is this thing over here. This is my collection of money from around the world. I started assembling this when I was in high school. Every time a friend or even a teacher would go to some foreign country, I would ask them to bring me back a dollar bill. And over the course of many years, not only did I get a lot of money for free, but I also was able to collect a huge assortment of money from, I would say, the majority of countries around the world. So let me show you some of the most interesting ones. The money does not show up very well when I just hold it up to the camera like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a split screen so that when I'm talking about a bill, you can see a close-up of it on this side. So to start with, let's look at some of the money from Canada. The most distinctive thing about Canadian money is that it is made of plastic and not paper. Canadian money used to be made of paper back in the old days, but then they switched it to plastic relatively recently, supposedly because plastic is more hardy and durable. I have not personally found this to be the case myself. In fact, if you crunch up Canadian plastic money like this, you will find that it tears very easily. Yeah, see? Just like this. But in any case, Canada is far from the only country that uses plastic money. They also have plastic money in New Zealand and Australia and Brunei and Thailand. And no matter what country it is, they always include these cool little windows in the bills too. In addition to what it's made out of, the size of money also tends to vary a great deal from country to country. So for instance, this is a 500 riel bill from Cambodia, while this is a 5 shilling bill from Egypt. Money also varies a lot in color. So for instance, compare this boring American $2 bill with this flamboyant 5 guilder bill from Suriname. Or how about this psychedelic number from Afghanistan? I know, who would have thought? Switzerland's money is also very cool because they have the only bills that go this way. And speaking of Europe, because I'm old, I was able to collect a fair bit of money from European countries before they all switched to the euro. Whatever you think of the euro from an economic or political perspective, it was objectively a bad thing from the perspective of money collectors, since it wiped out all these different national currency designs. Like, check out this old bill from Holland. The Dutch used to have some of the wildest currency designs in the world. See, it's got this little hologram, and it even has a barcode on the back for some reason. By the way, this is another universal trait of bills. They almost always have a big white space on them somewhere, and when you hold the white space up to the light, a hidden image appears. This is supposedly some sort of anti-counterfeiting thing. Here is an old 50 franc note from France. It has Anton de Saint-Exupéry on it. He was the guy that wrote The Little Prince. You can see it even has the Little Prince himself here. I think that's kind of a cool thing to have on money. Or how about this cool bill from Denmark? It has a fish. Now, most countries put people on their money, but some countries make really weird choices of who to put on. For example, let's take Nicaragua. Lots of countries put presidents on their money, but Nicaragua put the guy who shot their president on their money. This is Rigoberto Lopez Perez. In 1956, he assassinated the president Anastasio Somoza. But Somoza was seen as this terrible dictator, so I guess it was fine. The Indonesians, meanwhile, have a guy called Patemura on one of their bills. He once murdered one of Indonesia's Dutch governors and the governor's family with his trusty machete. Now, in a lot of countries, they put pictures of the king on the money, but in Swaziland, we not only have a picture of the king, but on the back, we have a picture of all of the king's wives. And then there's Iran. On the back of this Iranian bill, we have an angry mob waving guns. Way to play to stereotype, Iran. And speaking of Middle Eastern stereotypes, on Kuwait's money, they don't have any living creatures at all, just a picture of their precious, precious oil. Some of these bills are actually kind of scary too, because they have these big pictures of these horrible dictators that have since been overthrown. Like this Iraqi bill with this picture of Saddam Hussein. Or this Libyan one with Muammar Gaddafi. Or this one from Haiti, which has Papa Doc Duvalier on it. I see the little caption under his picture even reads, Papa Doc Duvalier, President for Life. And of course, even to this day, the Chinese money still all has pictures of Mao. But can you guess the world leader who's been on more money than anyone else? That's right, good old Queen Elizabeth. Because Queen Elizabeth is still the nominal head of state of a big bunch of countries, as we would already know if we watched my previous award-winning video on the subject, a lot of different countries have stuck her face on their money over the years. In fact, because she's been around so long, you can actually track her aging process through her portraits on all these different bills. So for instance, to begin, we have her looking very youthful on this bill from Mauritius. Then transitioning into comfortable middle age on this $2 bill from Belize, and then cuddly grandmother on this bill from the Bahamas, and then finally brink of death nonagenarian on this current bill from Canada. So have you ever come across a really weird looking bill, either in your country or somewhere else? Tell me about it in the description below, and maybe I will feature it in a follow-up video. But don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to mail any to me. Although it wouldn't hurt.